Hello everybody, so I am finally talking about this today. This is something I probably should have talked about years ago. Maybe it could help, maybe not, who knows. But lately one of our court members has been affected by this heavily, so I am making this video. Screw your rabbits and find out. Staff also doesn't seem to want to listen for years now despite the complaints, so even just for a record, I will be talking about this today. So regardless what kind of player you are, unless you just doesn't PvP at all, which may still affect you, and I will get into that near the end of the video. You may have seen these three words before. Battle results loading. The most annoying words in the entirety of PvP because this means you are not allowed to play the game since someone is hitting you. Now, waiting for 1 to 2 minutes would be fine, right? Because that's just how PvP works. Sometimes you get challenged. But what if someone starts spamming you for like 10 to 15 times? Keep in mind, some battles nowadays can last up to a whole 2+ minutes. So if you got unlucky, you may just have to sit there for over 30 minutes unable to play the game. And God forbid if another person starts spamming you too. I mean, you can't also just spam fights to use the cooldown window to get into another fight, but people can miss that window, especially when they have to sit there for 2 minutes straight. And why do they have to do that in the first place, right? That's why this is the worst kind of behavior in aiyonsaga, spamming people over and over, either intentionally or not intentionally. Some example can be locking them, hitting them until you win, or just farming them. All of these are terrible behaviors in PvP because you don't know if the other person is also online or not. And even if they're not online, when they check their PvP history, they might be like, what the heck, you know, does this person have anything against me, or does he think I was online so he's locking me? Like, which would be terrible for the spammer too, as you know, your reputation might be ruined and you might be spammed back by this person that you spam, creating like a vicious cycle, right? And I'll break down each cases that I listed. So if you're intentionally locking someone, then you should be banned, because that is just blatantly abusing the PvP system. There's no wiggle room on that, on this case, as it is just a vile behavior. If you're hitting someone until you win, buddy, you got like at least 10 other options before you. If you're losing against one person 15 times, I think it's better if you try hitting someone else. Give everyone 3 hits. If you cannot win anyone within 3 hits, then something is wrong with your team. Then something is wrong with your team against theirs. Go back to the drawing board and test it against your friend before wasting your hits on others. Because if not, you may just suffer the consequences of what I said above. Sure, you may not be intentionally abusing it, but don't be surprised if people call you a spammer or spam you back, especially when you are online. Lastly, if you are farming someone because they are the only person you can beat or something, this is the only sort of reason I can see. But first, is 20 gem worth than 30 minutes of your time? And is your reputation worth ruining for it too? Like, it is already a disrespect for the player being farmed, and that would be fine if not the arena system being like this, which is where it literally stops your target from playing the game because of it. Like, why not spread out your hits? You can hit everyone that you see once and maybe twice to finish up your hits. Pretty sure that won't be a problem to anyone. Plus, at least looking at these examples, most of them are losses, so why not try hitting everyone else so you can get a higher win rate to get more rewards, and people can usually tell if you are farming them, like if they are winning most of them, I guess. But at least for the person in this footage, it does not seem like farming. Now, all of the above are a different story if you are in number 1 or in a special spot. If you're in number 1, then obviously you cannot be locked, and people should have the rights to challenge you however many times they want to. But those problems are more amplified if you are not number 1 and if you're also in top 10. Because there is almost no reason why you shouldn't challenge number 1 when you're in top 10. Here is an example. Dino Puncher, which is the main offender for a while now, and he is at this rank, while Eevee is in this rank. Both players have access to number 1. They can hit number 1 at the same time and duke it out there. I think that will be fair. But for some reason, despite both players having access to challenge rank 1, Dino for some reason are still hitting Eevee. I can't really think of a way to justify it because, well, first, Dino is not a new player. Dino is not a new top 10 player. He should know how PvP works. He should know doing that will lock Eevee out of play for upwards of 30 minutes. You know, some may argue that it is a part of the game. But, you know, etiquettes, they're etiquettes, you know? This game is notorious for having abusable system or bugs. There are things you can do, doesn't mean that you should. And you can get banned for doing shady practices. And if not banned, you could get forever shamed. Everyone would target you first for any kind of PvP. And do you really want that? And if they just don't care, then I think they should just get banned. Because they are benefiting at the cost of others and the fairness of the arena. And can you imagine if you are free to play? In EN, you can get ace with skill if you know what you are doing. Imagine working so hard just to be told you cannot play the game because this guy decided to spam you until he wins or something. But you know what? I don't expect them to change. I doubt those people even watches this video. Because the game is not blameless too. In fact, you can even argue it might be more of the game's fault for even allowing these kind of things to happen in the first place. And this will get into my next point. Devs, you guys are pushing players, especially well-behaved whales, away from the game by allowing these kind of practice to even be attempted. I get that in some games you want some conflicts between players for them to well more or get better at the game. But spamming and locking people, that's not a battle between how much they spent or how much skill they are. It is a battle between who can abuse the system more or who can endure more at this point. Like at this point, it doesn't matter how charming the game is. It won't be worth playing PvP anymore. Which I'm sure is a big part of just keeping this game's existence. So even if you are free to play or a PvE only player, this should be concerning because the game is small as it is. Losing some whales might be devastating. So this video is more of a genuine feedback to the devs to please either take action against players that has been abusing these kind of mechanics or better improve how arena works. If you have an example to simply increase the CD between hitting the same player if they are not in number 1, and I think that's great as it can promote players to hit more people overall. There are also so many more ways you guys can go about this. Apex and Zenith are great, I think. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's less prone to abuses. And if anything, it doesn't stop players from playing the game. So yeah, I hope devs can do something before top player just gives up. I haven't even got into crazier, more vile things like, God forbid, if you're in top 10 and you hit someone under you to lock them. That should be an auto ban, along with some other abuses. Now, from the video I got, I didn't have one where someone did that, but there were reports of people doing that before. But because this video's evidence and footages are provided by Eevee, and the video was also made for Eevee, I won't accuse anyone that he doesn't point out. And finally, look out if you yourself ever experience something that seems unfair in PvP. You can send it to me, staff, or in public to ask if what happened to you was something shady. But anyway, this is the video. Thank you all so much for watching and see you next time. Goodbye!